Hi, I'm Matthew, and this is,
I'm Julian.
and we are from the Singapore FinTech Association, the InsurTech subcommittee. We're here today at the Insure Innovator Connect Asia 2025.
We're in Singapore today, and you can find out more on our socials to see all the coverage on this event. Right. Good afternoon. We are at the Insure Innovator Asia 2025 in Singapore, and today I have the pleasure to receive Federico.
Nice
Can
to
you
meet you.
introduce yourself, Federico, for the one who don't know you yet, which are not that many?
My name is Federico Brandi. I'm the Group Chief Marketing Officer at Roojai. We are a full-stack digital insurance company in Thailand and MGA in Indonesia.
Fantastic. So, Federico, very happy to have you here because Roojai is a bit of a reference in the region. It's one of the pioneer in the digital insurance, digital first insurance. And first question, I guess, is being a pioneer on that road, how did you actually manage to win the customer trust in a market where giants were still leading the game and still very much so?
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of an overview about Thailand as a market and similarly Indonesia. Although I would say Indonesia is very similar to Thailand, but a couple of steps back in terms of development. Consumers are very digitally savvy. If you are on the MRT or BTS in Thailand, you will see old aunties on their phone, watching videos on social media, TikTok, YouTube, everything. People are already very used to buy online other things. E-commerce, they're dominant in Thailand. Insurance was not so much. Banking is very digital. So it's automatically the next step for people to that are already used to buy everyday products, consumer products online, to move to digital financial services. So what we provide for them is what is the benefit of buying online for insurance. One is saving money. You need to be able to I do self-serving yourself, so you buy online. That's why you're doing it. And the other is convenience. I don't need to spend so much time talking with people, doing appointments. I can do everything by myself online. And the ease of comparing with other products without having to listen to a pitch from an agent or a broker. That was the initial point. It was really price, convenience. Then on top of that, we build up now we've been in the market for 9 years. After 9 years, we have a certain level of credibility. So we always send NPS surveys to all our customers, both at the point of sale and at the point of claim. So we collect that feedback, and actually our claim team, their incentives are based on the customer feedback, customer satisfaction. And we use that feedback not only to improve our own operation, but actually to tell to customer, look, this is what other customers say. So now we are at a point where, yes, our position in the market is still value for money, convenience, but there is also a degree of credibility that has been built up over the years. But in insurance, you cannot say we have great service before you deliver that service. That you need to have the examples after a few years.
That's a very good point. The next question I have for you is actually a very important person. So as a co-founder and a marketer myself in the insurance space, you're always steered between acquiring customer. That's one of the first function of marketing, right? It's really bringing the customer home, but also building a brand so that you can convey that trust you were just talking about, and you can continue to build up and to build an asset where people refer to it. So how do you balance brand building with acquisition?
Okay, so the way I see it, at the two of them, so performance marketing versus branding, I would call it, or lead gen versus branding. One, I see it as a short-term investment, and the other one as a long-term investment. One is, I will not call it day trading stocks, but buying stocks with certain frequency, and the other one is buying 10 years bond, 5 years bonds. So of course, when you just start as a business, you need to build a pipeline of leads. So when we just started, it was basically 99.9% lead gen. We needed the pipeline for online sales, for call center sales. We needed the volume to get in. At a certain point, you test a few things and you start to understand what is your customer acquisition cost on lifetime value, what is sustainable. You can push it a bit higher if you are more in a growth phase. You can push it lower if you are more in a sustainability phase. But there is a cap. After that, the marginal cost is become too high. So after that, that's where we ramp up branding, because we know branding is not going to bring leads immediately, but from our experience, it increase conversion of the leads you already have, and increase the volume also of direct traffic you get on your website, on your channels, not having to depend on performance marketing providers or SEO, which is very much, these channels are very much dependent on the competition in terms of auctions and on SEO changes to the various algorithms. So once your brand is big enough, people will come to you directly. But if you start directly with branding, you're going to lose a lot of money for a long time without having enough leads to sustain the business.
Awesome. So to summarize the playbook, you go after your clients first, you make enough money, and then you get to the point where your cost of acquisition are so high that you cannot go further. And then that's where building a brand, and once customers already
Yep.
are familiar with your brand, it makes sense to invest on that. And
Yep.
so that you reverse the trend where spending on branding actually lower your cost of acquisition.
Yeah, and actually it helps also
And increase
because
your coverage.
performance marketing, it's easy to switch on and switch off. Of course, during COVID, for example, a lot of people were not buying car insurance in our example because they were not driving. So you don't need to spend as much marketing on performance, so you can tone it down. But if your brand credibility is high enough and you're not going to building that in 6 months, you need to be there and create a certain level of frequency for a while. Even if you push down the spend on performance marketing, your lead pipeline doesn't drop as quickly. There is an inertia that comes through thanks to the brand.
So let me bounce on that, because you're talking about how you can tune it up and tune it down. But like, what are the digital channels that you're actually using, and which one are proving the most effective, and on which of those aspects, right?
Yeah. It really depends on the market. For Thailand, of course, social media are extremely big, and perform paid search, those are massive. SEO, we put a lot of effort on SEO. Luckily, we're able to rank on top for consistently for a few years for at least the big keywords for our products. We rank number 1 or number 2 for all of them. And that brings a certain level also constant flow of leads and very high quality traffic. In Thailand specifically, Line Messenger is very, very big. The problem is that before, the ads were pure awareness ads. You only could put banners. Now they have more pay-per-click platforms, so you can do some conversion. It's still in the early stages, it's not too advanced, but it's improving a lot and they respond very well to feedback. And then, of course, you have the Google, you have the Facebook, etc. TikTok is getting much, much better. For us, it was pure awareness and reach channel before. The algorithm was not great for lead gen, I would say. So we are not investing too much in lead gen ads, more on just reach and awareness for the brand. But now it's getting much, much better. And finally, in Indonesia, it's a bit different. Line doesn't basically exist. It's tiny, but WhatsApp is massive. Now you cannot run WhatsApp ads, but you can use it for marketing automations once you have the leads. So it's a bit different by country, but the platforms, they're more or less the same everywhere we go.
And learning that, iterating, and
Yes.
trying what works, and
Yeah,
so on and so forth,
exactly.
which is also pretty easy to do on digital marketing. right?
Absolutely.
Well, cool. So you talked a lot about customer acquisition, generating leads, and sales, and branding. How do you actually measure the impact of marketing and of your spending beyond the lead generation and the acquisition of new customers?
Well, that's still king. So especially new business acquisition growth and customer acquisition cost, those two are still the top 2 metrics. But we have a full-on balance scorecard with our KPIs. And for marketing, we have between 5 and 6 KPIs, I would say. Those are the primary ones. And of course, we have the 2 we discussed about, but you have also SEO metrics, app user metrics, online sales metrics. And we have also some metrics regarding the impact of marketing automations. But I would say that's more on renewal, where they operate pretty well. And of course, these things trickle down, because if you have a better collection journey for people that pay with monthly installment. That, of course, will increase the amount of monthly installment you collect. You reduce cancellation rate. If you have a good communication at the claim level, your renewal rate and retention rate will go up. So it's a combination of all those things. But and of course we have brand awareness, which we monitor. We have a quarterly survey we do every quarter to check our position in the market. And so far, when we look at top of mind for motor insurer, now we're number 2. We're not number 2 in the market for market share, but in terms of awareness, when we ask people what motor insurance brand do you know, except from the top player in Thailand, we're number 2, which is great.
Fantastic. So what I hear is that you really have very clear KPIs for every aspect of your funnel, and that you look at those metrics depending on your objective and what you want to achieve.
Absolutely.
Cool. And congrats on being top in SEO and brand awareness against
Thanks.
big behemoths with deep pockets. That's pretty impressive. So you touched a little bit on the cultural or behavioral differences that you can see in customer engagement. You talk more about the channel that they might use. Can you dive into more like the differences when it comes to consuming insurance in the market you operate, of course?
Okay. I would say Thailand, even if the penetration is not, insurance penetration is not extremely high, the understanding of insurance is pretty good. We're not at the level of Singapore, South Korea, or Western Europe or Japan, but it's pretty high and it's going up, especially in an aging society where more and more people are aware about the need for health insurance and life insurance. On the other hand, Indonesia, it's a very young market. The population is much younger. The average income is much lower. Insurance penetration is much lower. So actually, the real insurance market as of now, the addressable market in Indonesia is fairly small. And there is I think we saw a few panels today. In this type of markets, usually education is a big problem. Like people really don't understand why they need insurance, what is insurance for, and when they need it, it's too late to buy it. So same thing we did in Thailand 10 years ago. We were basically everybody for motor insurance, everybody was selling no deductible policies. So no matter the claim, you will pay zero out of your pocket. No matter if you are at fault, there is no third party, etc. Why? Because the distribution was through agent, dealer, and broker, and those guys want the highest commission possible. Non-deductible policies, premium is higher than policy with deductible. Once we put it on the website and people can play with it, we saw that in our case, more than 70% of the people would buy a policy with deductible, even if small amounts.
So interesting.
The frequency of accident go down, the loss ratio go down, and the customer, on average, are pretty satisfied. There are, of course, a few people that will be like, what do I need to pay? Well, you selected this product, but it's very, very rare. And in early stages, we did a ton of content and education to explain to customer what does it mean excess and why you should buy a policy with excess, because there is no reason for you to buy a policy with no deductible. Similarly, in Indonesia, there is very much a lack of understanding of what is insurance in majority market. So it's our job, and I think everybody in the industry's job, not only to push product through broker and agent, but actually educate the market on why they should buy insurance to preserve their lifestyle and avoid big financial downfalls. Yeah, and of course, in terms of marketing and advertising, the sensibilities are extremely different in Thailand and Indonesia. So just try to look at a few ads from any sector. Ads from Thailand and Indonesia, they're completely different. So we cannot recycle the ads. They need to be completely different ads between the two markets. Yeah.
Okay. But I love it how you talk about putting the product between the hands of in the hands of your customers, and a big believer in the transparency in insurance, which has been lacking terribly for the last few years.
Absolutely.
Or last decades, maybe. So very interesting to see that actually has an impact, and that people, when they understand the product, they're able to make more informed choice and actually get access to insurance, right? Even in markets that are not so educated. There's two letters that keep coming back in the insurance market at the moment. AI. Can you talk about how it's impacting marketing in particular in insurance?
Yeah, we have been testing with AI tools at different stages, of course, for a while now. We test it also in the back end in other operation, but focusing on marketing. We are testing quite a bit, especially on ads generation and other strategic items, I would say. So in our case, we use quite a bit, especially VO3. Right now, video generation is, I would say, probably state of the art. And we combine the two because we also use Copilot for other things. So maybe we use one for image generation and then reuse those items as an ingredient to create the ads on video. So right now, I'm asking the team, and what we're doing is focusing on single video ads, which means it's only 6 to 8 seconds, so there is no story. It's really one single USP. So these ads are more for people that already know the brand, where we hammer down and extending USP and what we're promoting. We already launched about, I can't remember, 7 or 8 of them to A/B test some of them, and the performance has been damn good. Actually, much better than the traditional, static design ads or even traditional videos. We're able to push them very fast, and we're trying to launch one per week soon, with a goal next quarter probably, next quarter, Q1, to launch a full-on commercial, purely using AI.
Fantastic.
So we're working on that. So that is not replacing the designers. The designers are the one using it because they are the one that understand also the composition of the images, and we want them to learn how to do proper prompt engineering. So they're working quite a bit on understanding how to use the tool, and they're doing pretty well so far.
Fantastic. So whether it's with AI or not, but you've talked of how much you're testing and iterating on those marketing channels and messaging and images and videos. By experience, I know that a lot of the time we get surprised by what works or what doesn't, and we have conviction, but we test them and then reality kicks in. Can you share an example of like something that really surprised you in kind of like recent times on something that you've tested and either completely failed or either like blew your mind for how well it worked?
Yeah, I have a couple of examples. One linked to AI, and one completely unlinked to is more traditional marketing, and it's a few years back now. So talking about the AI one, we have some ads that don't really talk about insurance that much. They're really funny, and it's just playing with our mascot, the kangaroo. But there is nothing about insurance. And actually, when we pushed them out, there was no CTA, if I remember correctly, in the original version. The lead gen was very good, and cost per lead was very low, and those leads were converting well. It was not like trash leads; they were very good quality leads. So I'm expecting these performance was due to the fact that probably these people were remarketed. They already know us. Maybe they came to the website before, then they saw this ad, and it reminded them. They had fun
Roojai.
and reminded. But they were not. The team didn't use them for remarketing. They used them for general audience in market for what we sell. But it worked pretty well. And going back to a few years back, so I come from a performance marketing background, so I was really like, no, we need to look at the lead gen and customer acquisition cost. When we start moving more on branding, and I start learning also myself more about branding, branding is very difficult to measure, especially when you use traditional channels, out of home, TV, etc. So when we start doing branding, we decided, okay, let's do in a location. We start doing out of home, but in a location that is big enough to see the statistical significance, but small enough to control it. Bangkok was not the right target just because the amount of billboards and the size of the city does not allow you to do that. So we said, okay, let's target Chiang Mai in northern Thailand. We will do out-of-home advertising just in Chiang Mai, and we will look at the performance before and after. The thing we noticed with the billboards is there was no increase in leads at all, but the conversion went up significantly.
Oh.
So
Is that
traditional channels really help more for credibility building. There is still the perception,
Okay.
and it's similar in Indonesia.
You were on a billboard, so you were a real company.
Yeah, if they see your ads online, they're like, everybody can advertise online. They're not wrong, but like, they're so used, especially nowadays with the amount of scams, online scams that there are. People see you online, they still feel like, it's not quote unquote a real company. But when they see the same ad on TV or they see on the billboard, that clicks something.
That's
People
interesting.
start give you some credibility because, if you're buying a contract on TV or billboards, it feels like you're more of a real company, trustworthy company. So that was useful actually to understand the power of branding and traditional marketing combined with digital marketing.
That's cool. And so maybe an inspirational note to finish up. You've been at it for 9 years. What do you see happening in the next 5 years, and the biggest shift, and specifically in your activity in marketing, in insurance?
So one for me will be like there will be a continuous shift towards digitalization. That doesn't mean that the agents and brokers are not going anywhere. I'm not a big believer of disruption, the broker are dead. No, they've been on it for a while. They will just shift their focus, and they have a very important role to play. There are segments that will never be direct, and that's where the broker come in and they bring value. So that will not change, but the way they work will change quite a bit, especially with AI tools that will change probably how they analyze product, how they propose product, etc. Not even talking about direct, there will be much more impact from the front of the funnel with AI on advertising and lead gen, but also in the back end with claim management, customer service management, fraud detection. All these things will have AI will have a massive impact, even if the customer does not see it, because probably, especially at the point of claim, you don't want to talk with an AI agent. If you have a claim, you want to talk with a person. That should not change for me. But the agent should be supported by AI tools to give you better service and faster service. Another thing will be the autonomous vehicle. They will come. I don't know if it will be in 9 years, 10 years, or 20 years, but we've been in it for a while. They're improving. We have them on the road at certain parts of the world. They will expand and they will change quite a bit the way business is done for motor insurance, I would say. And a global aging population. That means that together with climate change, that means that a lot of things will change the way also we underwrite business as risk, both in the health sector and natural disaster coverage.
I'll leave you chew on that and think about what it means for your job. Thanks a lot, Federico. Super happy to have you here today, and I hope the event is bringing fruits for you.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you around there.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Good.
I hope you enjoyed our podcast review just now. This podcast review is brought to you by IIC, SFA, and MESSION.
And we hope you enjoyed the Insurer Innovator Connect Asia 2025 in Singapore. We sure did it.
We're looking forward to meeting you again in our IIC future events. See you next time.
See you. Cheers.